Hi, Mary here from Change is Always Possible, and this is my first vlog. I think that's what they're called. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something that happened to me earlier this week that was really revelatory, and I want to share it because I think it's possible for us all to have these sort of changes in our life. I was attending a protest rally in the small town where I live. It was called Argyle Against Trump, No Special Relationship. And it was small, I don't know, maybe about 30 people. Some of the local councillors came. And it was absolutely bucketing with rain. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that there was somebody started heckling and shouting loudly over other people, or one other person in particular who was trying to speak. And one person in the crowd had shouted back at them. And my concern was that it might escalate. And I found myself, to my surprise, because I never behave like this, and I'll explain why later, going over to speak to him and to question what was going on for him, and why that is a remarkable thing that I did is because I was brought up with a pretty aggressive and sometimes violent Scottish alcoholic father, and this man that I went to speak to was Scottish and loud and aggressive and smelling of alcohol. In the past, as soon as that sort of thing had happened, I would have been actually started shaking and been trying to move away from it. It would have brought up an awful lot of fear in me. I don't know exactly why that is not what happened this time, why I'm in a different place. I'm going to just try and explore a little bit of that, why that might be with you. For some reason, that day and that time, I remembered things that I've read and things that I believe and ways that I want to be in the world, and I put them into action. And I asked Guy, did he not care about these things? And he said he did care. And we went, and I asked him what he cared about, and we went on to have a conversation about his point of view. And actually, I realised that quite a lot of what I did was I just listened. And I also questioned some of the things he said and then said why I felt differently to that. And a lot of his fear, as it turned out, was to do with refugees. And that is what I encountered, and finally asked him about what was it that he was really frightened about. And after answering that, he disappeared off really quickly. I then had somebody else come up and start videoing me on their phone and asking me quite aggressively, or going on about stuff and asking me things and not listening to my answer, which I did point out to him, in which case he did actually give me a little bit of space. I cannot believe that I managed to do that without getting aggressive back, without really shaking and being frightened. And I've been trying to think about what is it that I could share to say, how can somebody get from where I've been, how I've been affected by anger in my life, to where I found myself the other day. And I think it really has a huge amount to do with the work that I've done on myself, that where I've gone and used the techniques that I work with, EFT and matrix reimprinting in particular, to investigate my own fears and find out where they come from. And so often it's from a part of me that was terrified by things as a child, maybe abusive situations, things I didn't understand. And the way I see it is like those parts were energetically still alive in me, so could be triggered by events happening in the present, and effectively reactivate those same feelings I felt when I was a child. So that's why the fear around particularly drunken Scots men was so big. And I've gone back and I've helped those damaged, wounded, hurt and frightened parts of myself. Well, many of them. There's still got quite a few to go. And it's making such a huge difference to how I feel in the world. And what it is I feel less afraid. I wasn't afraid of that man, right? Because I know that inside of him are all those damaged, wounded, hurt places. And it's so often in life, it's when we cover up our hurt and our fear with anger. I've done it, I still do it, because anger feels so much more powerful. And in anger, we can defend ourselves. In fear, we can feel really helpless and powerless. So that, I guess what I'm saying is, do your own work on yourself. Look after your hurt places, your damaged places, and learn to have some compassion for yourself. And I think maybe then we can extend that more easily to others from a really true place. I am still surprised at myself and pleased with myself. And I know that in other circumstances I could have got a punch in the nose or my head chopped off or something. But maybe not. And I just feel that I was able to come from a place of being kind, being interested, and being compassionate, rather than, can you not just shut up and leave us alone, and just meeting that sort of aggression with more aggression because of the work that I've done in myself. And I truly believe that the more of us that do this work, the more of us that clear our own wounded, hurt, frightened places inside, the more we can help create a calmer, kinder, more compassionate world. And that's what I truly long for. And I wanted to read out the quote that helped me actually. Generally in life, you might have heard it, by Mother Teresa. It goes like this. I was once asked why I don't participate in anti-war demonstrations. I said that I will never do that, but as soon as you have a pro-peace rally, I'll be there. And when I heard that, it resonated very deeply with me, and I knew that that's how I wanted to live. I wanted to live where I'm for things. I'm looking at what I want to happen, what I hope for, rather than using up my energy being against things, anti-things. And what about if we all put our energies into what is it we hope for? What is it we would really like to see in the world? And then go and do something about it. Imagine the change that we could elicit. Because each one of us is passionate and affected and upset and cares about different things. So many of the difficulties in the world can be tackled if we actually get on and do something about them, rather than spend our time and our energy fighting against people who are thinking differently from us. Because when we go in to fight with somebody, that's what happens, isn't it? They fight, you fight back, they fight back. How can we get to a place of peace if we behave like that? We've seen it all across the globe. It's been going on for millennium, probably, the human, and I really believe we're better than that. We really are better than that. We have the capacity to think. We have the capacity to consider things. But so long as we're still being triggered, the hurts and upsets that we've experienced in the past are being triggered, then we're going to react out of those hurt places. So we need to do our healing work if we want to heal the planet. That's what I think. Anyway, More peace, more pro. What are you pro? What do you hope for? Go and get on with it.